Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Crochet with Zahra. Today I am going to show you how to make this table mat. I have crocheted this table mat with a staple thread. You can increase and decrease the size of the mat according to your table. I have just started the project from this point and then slowly increase in every round so that it will make a pattern at the end like this, and in this area I have increased in every round, so slowly it became increased step by step. So let's get started by taking the materials. I am going to use so let's grab your materials. I am going to use this staple thread. You can see this is a very thin thread, so I am going to double the thread. Just make two balls of the thread like this. Now make a slip knot. Cross the thread over itself in such a way that it makes a loop. Now just pull the tail end from the loop to make the slip knot. And now take the 0.7 mm hook. You can see 0.7 mm hook or 10 number hook, and it looks like this. This is very small hook. Now insert the hook into the loop and tighten the knot. Now just hold the thread in such a way that these two fingers hold the knot and cross the thread over your index finger like this. Now work total of chain 6. Yarn over and pull through the loop. This is chain 1. Now yarn over, pull through the loop. This is chain 2. Yarn over, pull through the loop. This is chain 3. In such a way, work total of 6 chain. 4, 5 and 6. Now insert the hook into the first chain. Just make sure work the loose chains, so it will be difficult for the hook to insert. It will be difficult for the hook to insert into the chain. Now insert the hook into the first chain, yarn over and pull through the. If you are a beginner, so you have to practice a lot. If you are a pro crocheter, you will handle this thread and hook. Now work a slip stitch into the chain 1. Now I am going to start the round 1. You can see a hole in between. Now work chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I will count this chain 3 as a double crochet, and I am going to work total of 17 double crochets including this chain 3. Yarn over, insert the hook into the hole that is created by working the slip stitch into the first chain. Now yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. In the same way, work total of 17 double crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. Now insert the hook into the chain 3 and work a slip stitch to end the round 1. Now from this point I am going to start my round 2. For the round 2 I will work 4 corners by working 2 double crochets with the chain 2 in between, and in between the corners I am going to work a granny stitch. Now I am going to work first corner 1, 2, 3 by working chain 3 as a double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook back into the same space where we work chain 3, Now chain 2, yarn over and work again 2 double crochets back into the same. Now I will count this space, chain 2 space as a corner. Now work chain 2, skip stitch and work a granny stitch. Skip stitch into the next stitch, work a granny stitch. Insert the hook into the stitch, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now work 3 double crochets back into the same stitch. This will make a granny stitch. Yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, insert the hook. This 3 double crochets work a granny stitch. Now chain 2, skip stitch and again work second corner by working 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets back into the same stitch, and this will make over second corner. Now chain 2, again work a granny stitch. After skip stitch and work granny stitch. 1, 2 and 3. Now chain 2 and work the third corner by skipping stitch, and into the next stitch work 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Now chain 2, again skip stitch and work a granny stitch. Now chain 2, again work a corner, 1, 2, 3 granny stitch, and this is our last corner. Skip stitch and work 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets back into the same stitch. Now I have completed my 4 corners, and the next stitch will be our last granny stitch. Chain 2, yarn over, skip stitch and work a granny stitch. Yarn over, insert the hook back into the same. 3 double crochets works as a granny stitch. Now chain 2 and to end the round 2, work a slip stitch into the chain 3, and you can see it looks like this. Now for the round 3, work a slip stitch into the next double crochet and work a slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Now work again corner, yarn over, chain 3, yarn over, insert the hook into the chain 2 space, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 2, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over. Now you can see this is our corner. We always increase in the corner. Now chain 2. Now you can see these 2 spaces between, and in between there is a granny stitch, this space and this space. We are going to work granny stitches in these 2 spaces. Yarn over, insert the hook into the space, pull up the loop and work granny stitch 1, 2, and 3. Now chain 2, 1 and 2 and work a granny stitch into the next space before the corner. Now work chain 2 and into the corner, work 2 double crochets and chain 2 and 2 double crochets back into the same chain 2 space, chain 2, yarn over and work 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now chain 2 and repeat the stitch pattern. Work a granny stitches before and after the corners spaces, 1, 2 and 3. Chain 2, 1 and 2 and work a granny stitch into the next space. And the same way, increase in the corner, work granny stitches in between the spaces, again increase in the corner. I will meet you at this point. Now to end the round 3, insert the hook into the chain 3, pull up the loop and pull through to work a slip stitch. Now from the round 4, our pattern is going to start. You can see this flower. In the end, we have total of 7 flowers as we increased in every round, as we will increase in every round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. You can see first flower in the, and this flower is going to be worked in 3 stitch pattern, 3 rows pattern. Repeat row number 1, 2 and 3. In the same way, repeat this flower works in total of 3 rounds in every corner. You can see after repeat row number 3, again we are going to start our pattern in the same way, stitch pattern, and we will work 2, we will work 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. You can increase according to your table size or mat size, whatever this mat is going to be used for you. So we are going to start our pattern round, repeat row. I will call this row as a repeat row number 1 of the pattern, but technically this is our round 4, but I will call this round as a repeat row number 1. Now insert the hook into the next stitch and work a slip stitch. Insert the hook into the next stitch and work a slip stitch. Now work chain 3 as double crochet, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, two double crochets, chain 2, now chain 2. As this is a thread work, so I am going to work always chain 2, but if you are using a wool, you can work chain 1. Now yarn over, work a granny stitch. This pattern always starts with a granny stitch and always ends at the granny stitch before the corner. Just remember that. Now work chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over and work a double crochet in the middle space. Now again work chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over and work a granny stitch. As I have described you earlier, this stitch pattern always starts with a granny stitch and ends at the granny stitch, or right after and before the corner. Now you can see we are over second corner. Work chain 2, yarn over, insert the hook into the, and work 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets back into the same chain 2 space, 1 and 2. Now chain 2, again we are going to repeat our pattern, granny stitch, chain 5, double crochet, chain 5, granny stitch. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over, insert the hook and work double crochets, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and work a granny stitch before the corner. In the same way, follow the stitch pattern in every corner and I will meet you at this point. Just work chain 2, increase in the corner, chain 2, work a granny stitch, chain 5, work a double crochet, chain 5 and work a granny stitch, chain 2 and again repeat the pattern and I will meet you at this point. Now work chain 3 to end the round. Repeat row number 1. Insert the hook into the chain 3. And you can see our square is formed. Now insert the hook into the next top of double crochets and work a slip stitch and insert the hook into the chain 2 and work a slip stitch. Now I am going to start my repeat row number 2. Work chain 3 and work double crochets, chain 2 and again 2 double crochets back into the same chain 2 space. Now chain 2. As I have described you earlier, after and before every corner, work a granny stitch. Always work. Yarn over, insert the hook into the space and work a granny stitch. Yarn over, Now from this point, work chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and work a slip stitch into the chain 5 space, and into the top, on the top of double crochet, work a slip stitch, and again work a slip stitch into the next chain 5 space. Just pull this chain 5, so this slip stitch slipped near the double crochet. Now again work chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over and work a granny stitch right before the corner. Now chain 2, yarn over, again work into the corner by following the stitch pattern of 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets back into the same chain 2 space. Again repeat the stitch pattern, chain 2, yarn over, insert the hook into the space right after the corner and work a granny stitch into that space. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, insert the hook into the chain 5 and work a slip stitch, and again on the top of the double crochet work a slip stitch, and again into the chain 5 work a slip stitch. Just pull this chain 5 in such a way that the slip stitch slipped near the double crochet. Again work chain 5 and work a granny stitch right before the corner. Follow the same stitch pattern in after every corner, and I will meet you at this point. Now at the end of the repeat row number 2, yarn over, follow the pattern. I am on repeat row number 2. Now slip stitch, work a slip stitch into the chain 3 and end the round. Now again slip stitch into the next double crochet and slip stitch into the chain 2. Now work chain 3 as a double crochet, work into the corner. Now this is the last round of the pattern. After repeat row number 3, I will again start the repeat row number 1. Now chain 2, before the repeat row number 2, yarn over. As I have described you, always start right after the corner by granny stitch. Now chain 2, I mostly work with the wool or yarn, so for me it will be difficult to handle the thread, but I can work in the thread also. Now chain 2, yarn over, insert the hook into this chain 5 and work a granny stitch, yarn over, now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over and work the double crochet on the top of this double crochet. You can see this double crochet, yarn over, just find the space and insert the hook into the space on the top, yarn over and work a double crochet. Now again work chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, insert the hook into the next chain 5 space and again work a granny stitch, chain 2 and work the granny stitch right before the space of the corner. Now you can see our flower is formed. In the same way we will work in every round. Just remember that always work granny stitch right after and right before the space. In the space right before the corner, always work granny stitches, and you can see your pattern easily followed. Chain 2, now work into the corner, chain 2, yarn over, now chain 2, work a granny stitch right after the corner, chain 2, work a granny stitch into the chain 5 space, yarn over, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, work a double crochet on the top of the double crochet, Again chain 3, 1 2 3, yarn over and work granny stitch into the chain 5 space. Now chain 2, 1 and 2, and work a granny stitch right before the corner. Follow the same stitch pattern in every corner, in between the corners, and I will meet you at this point. Now just slip stitch into the chain 3 to end the round 7, or repeat row number 3. Now again this repeat row number 3 will end over stitch pattern. Now I am going to repeat these 3 rows in every round. Now work to start the 8th row or repeat row number 1. Work in the corner by working chain 3, yarn over, double crochet, chain 2, yarn over and double crochet, 2 double crochets back into the same chain 2 space. Now chain 2. As I have described you, always work granny stitch right after the corners, so it will drag over pattern if I am going to follow the right pattern or not. Now chain, you can, if you remember, I worked in repeat row number 1. After the granny stitch I worked chain 5, so in this row I will again work row chain 5, yarn over, and I will work a double crochet into the next space. Again chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over and work double crochet, in granny stitch into the chain 3 space of previous row. Now again chain 3, 1 2 3, and work again granny stitch into the next chain 3 space. Now work chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over, work double crochet, again work 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over, and work the granny stitch right before the corner. You can see over this round is increased by 2 flowers of stitch pattern. You can see this is over 1, and we will work in this chain 5 and in this chain 5 to 4 flowers. This row is increased by 2 flowers. This is 1 and 2. Now chain 2, 1 and 2, and work in the corner, chain 2, and work 2 double crochets, now chain 2, 1 and 2, work granny stitch right after the corner, chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over into the next space, work double crochet, again work chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and work granny stitch into these 2 spaces with a chain 3 in between. Chain 3, 1 2 3, again work granny stitch into the chain 3 space. Now work chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and work double crochet, 1 2 3 4 5, and over, chain 2, and repeat the stitch pattern, and I will meet you at this point. Now end the row by working slip stitch into the chain 3. Now work a slip stitch on the top of the double crochet, and into the chain 2 space work a slip stitch. Now chain 3, 1 2 3, and work again into the corner, chain 2, yarn over. Now work repeat row number 2 into the 9th round, yarn over, insert the hook into the next space, and work a granny stitch. You can see I am going to increase in every round. Now yarn, and now work chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and work a slip stitch into the chain 5 space, and slip stitch on the top of the double crochet. Again slip stitch into the chain 5 space. Slip stitch into the chain 5 space, slip stitch on the top of the double crochet, and slip stitch into the chain 5 space. Now chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over and work a granny stitch into the next chain 3 space. Again work chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, work a slip stitch into the chain 5 space, work granny stitch on the work slip stitch on the top of the double crochet and work slip stitch into the chain 5 space. Just pull the chain 5 to slip the slip stitch near the double crochet. Now again work chain 5, yarn over and work granny stitch. I hope you get the pattern. In the same way, after repeat row number 3, I am going to again start. So next round will be over round 10. After round 10, I am from the round 11, I am again going to start repeat row number 1, and you can see over 2 flowers is formed after 1 2 3. After every 3 round, over flowers are going to increase one by one. 1 2 3, you can see 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. You can see. I hope you get the pattern. I will show you the last round and I will meet you after the 7th flower. Okay, I will show you the next round. I will meet you at this point, and after that I will show you the last round in the camera. I will work behind the camera until I have reached at the end of the 7th flower round, and I will show you how to make this border, peacock border. Okay, I will meet you at this point. Now I just end the round by working slip stitch into the chain 3 and work in the corner. Now I am going to start my repeat row number 3, chain 2 and work granny stitch into the next space right after the corner. Now chain 2, 1 and 2, work a granny stitch into the chain 5 space. Chain 3, 1 2 and 3, yarn over, work double crochet on the top of double crochet, 3, yarn over, now chain 2, you can see over 1 flower is formed. Now again repeat the pattern, chain 2, work a granny stitch on the top in the chain 5 space, chain 3, 1 2 3, yarn over, work double crochet on the top of double crochet. Now chain 3, 1 2 3, yarn over and work granny stitch into the chain 5 space, chain 2, now we will repeat patterns after every 3 rounds to make the flowers, and after every 3 rounds the flower is increased will be, you can see 1 1 2. In the same way, into the repeat row number 1, work granny stitch into this space, chain 5, double crochet, chain 5, granny stitch, again chain 3, granny stitch, chain 5, in this double crochet, chain 5, granny stitch, chain 3, granny stitch, chain 5, double crochet, chain 5, granny stitch. So in the next round over 3 flowers will be formed. In the same way, follow the stitch pattern and I will meet you when I will reach into this. I didn't count the rounds, so I have no idea at which round these 7 flowers will be formed, but I will meet you at this point when I will reach at the end of these 7 flowers. You can see. Okay, I will meet you then. Just follow the stitch pattern, and if there any confusion, just reverse the video and again watch the video so you can be easily understand. Okay, I will meet you then. Now that I have reached the end of the repeat row number 3, I didn't count the exact number of rows, but I ended up at the repeat row number 3 and I have total of 7 flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 flowers at the end of the row. Now just slip stitch into the chain 3 and slip stitch into the on the top of the double crochet and slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Now work 2 more double crochets back into the same chain 2 space. Now chain 2, 1 and 2. Now work a granny stitch or 3 double crochets into the next space. Chain 2. Now granny stitch into the next space. Now in this row we have a stitch pattern of granny stitch, chain 2 and granny stitch into the next spaces. Chain 2, work a granny stitch into the space, 3 double crochets works as a granny stitch, 1 granny stitch. Now chain 2, granny stitch into the next space, chain 2, granny stitch into the next space. In the same way, work a stitch pattern of granny stitch into the chain space, chain 2 and granny stitch into the next space. And in the corner, chain 2 space, work a granny stitch as I worked here. Now continue making granny stitches into the chain spaces, and in between the stitches work chain 2 and work all along the way and reach the corner, and I will meet you at this point. Now I have completed the row of, you can see, granny stitch, chain 2, granny stitch into the next space, chain 2, granny stitch in the next space, chain 2, granny stitch in the same way all around the square. Now to end this row, chain 2 and slip stitch into the chain 3. Now chain 1 and work a single crochet into the on the top of the middle double crochet. Now chain 2, work 5 double crochet into the next space. Three, 4 and 5. Now work chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and work, you can see any of the space where the hook can easily pass and work a slip stitch. Now again work 5 double crochets back into the same space. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now work chain 2. You can see this is a peacock stitch, chain 6 and slip stitch, and before and after 5 double crochets into the same space. Now chain 2 into the next space, work a single crochet. Now chain 2 and repeat the stitch pattern. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 6 and work a slip stitch, and again work chain 5 back into the same space. Yarn over, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now chain 2, work a single crochet into the next space, chain 2 and repeat the stitch pattern, chain 5, 5 double crochets, chain 6, slip stitch into the chain double crochet where slip stitch into the double crochet where the hook can easily pass, and again chain 5 back into the same space and repeat the stitch pattern, and I'll meet you at this point. And remember, in the corner we have a granny stitch and we have to work a single crochet on the top of second double crochet, just like I work here. Okay, repeat the stitch pattern all along the way or all around the square, and I will meet you at this point.
And there you have it. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed my channel, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take great care of yourself. Bye bye.